Welcome to our show, Obsessed, where we talk about cryptids, mythology, folklore, and whatever else we're currently obsessed with. I'm Caitlin Palmer.
And I'm Clay.
And we're
Obsessed.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Obsessed with the Palmers. Clay, we're back from New England. We're not there anymore.
Alright, so we did an episode before this where we talked about how we weren't in New England anymore.
We did, but I cannot stress how badly I want to go back. And Daddy Mississippi is very mad at me for daring to leave the South because I've got allergies from hell.
Yeah, I mean, the last episode was recorded yesterday, so the allergies are still here. But we said we would do an episode today.
Yeah, and this is how much I love you freaks, because I feel like shit. But I'm here. And I say freaks with love.
Right, yeah, platonic freaks.
Yeah. I'm not a freak in the sheets. You know, like a lady in the streets. Freak in the bed.
Do I know? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I've been taking a lot of cold medicine.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So, I'm not ready. My headspace is not ready to leave Connecticut. So, we're going to venture back there briefly, if not just in our minds.
Okay, so I guess the cryptids you're talking about today are going to be from Connecticut.
Yes, that's correct.
That's Correcticut.
That's Correcticut. And before I get started, I just want to point out that Damned Connecticut is a website, and it's like all spooky things Connecticut, and it's really good.
Damned?
Damned Connecticut, yeah.
Okay.
It's really cool. With that being said, let's go back to the Northeast, shall we? Welcome to my multi-parter, Cursed Connecticut, where the past lingers in the mist and the unknown waits just beyond the tree line. When the fog rolls off the mountains and drapes itself over the stones, Connecticut becomes a place like no other. Ancient, secretive, and full of legends that refuse to die. Today we venture into the eerie and enigmatic legends of the Nutmeg State. From the shadowy forests of Litchfield County come tales of the Winsted Wildman, a monstrous figure that terrifies and eludes even to this day. And along the forgotten roads, we follow the ghastly trail of the old Leatherman, a silent wanderer wrapped in mystery. Some say they're myths, others swear it's the truth. But in Connecticut, the line between history and the unknown is thinner than you think. And we were actually like at these places. Like Winsted is a town.
Oh yeah.
That we were in. And we also were going to talk about Litchfield, which we went to.
We did go to Litchfield.
We have to go back because there's some more places I found that we have to go.
Oh, that's a shame. We almost kind of drove through Litchfield because the main reason we went turned out to be busts. So.
Yeah. And we were looking for shoes because my shoes...
We were also looking for shoes.
Yeah, I was walking and I had these like super El Cheapo $7 shoes that I bought on Temu like a year ago. So like they're actually really good shoes. But they decided that up there while it was raining, it was a good time to just like rip. Like the sole part ripped.
I love that you talked about the shoes.
Kind of like how my sole ripped when we came back to Mississippi.
I like that you talked about the shoes again because... In the last episode, you talked about the shoes for like 5 solid minutes, and I cut all of that out.
Nuh-uh.
I did. I cut all of that out. But what you just did was fine, because it was like 30 seconds about the shoes.
Hey, it was important. Okay. So let's start with the Winsted Wildman. Wildman. It's essentially... Okay,
now, are there men or man?
It's a man. Well, we don't really know. So we were in the town of Winsted.
Right.
And it's beautiful. Absolutely stunning.
If you look on our social media, that's actually where I got all of the cemetery pictures from.
That was Winsted.
Was in Winsted, yeah.
Oh, okay, wow. So our friends that we went to visit, they actually live up there, like near there. And they only recently learned about the Winsted Wildman, too. So it's not a super well-known cryptid.
He was on the little chart. We got a little post-it card for Connecticut, which I'll post if I haven't already, which lays out the location of all these different Connecticut
and
cryptids.
that's where I'm getting all of these.
Oh, you pulled from the post-it
I did.
note?
I did.
That's kind of how we planned our little road trip. We were like, okay, well, we'll hit this area, this area, and this area.
Oh, that makes sense. That's why we went to all those places, huh?
Yeah.
So, the Winsted Wildman, he's basically a big hairy guy that was seen and then not seen again for like 80 years. And since then, no one has seen the Winsted Wildman since the 70s. He's been described like most of the larger footed creatures.
Okay. This is a Bigfoot subspecies.
It allegedly. Some people call it the Connecticut Bigfoot. It's very, very similar, but there's also something else.
I feel like every state has their own version of a Sasquatch.
They really do.
And I
really
say
do.
their own version, it's pretty much all just a Sasquatch, but they call it something different.
Sure. So this thing is described as being 6 feet tall, 300 pounds, covered in long black hair with the shorter black hairs on the body, and then the head hair is longer. And it's been described as both agile and brawny.
Okay.
The first sighting of the Winsted Wildman was in 1895, and that was in a clearing by selectman Riley Smith and his bulldog. I couldn't find the name of the dog. I really did look.
They didn't deem that
They didn't. Well,
important
it was stupid.
information.
But the dog was said to be very plucky. So
Okay, so we got the dog's personality, but
right,
not
but
the
we
dog's
don't know
name?
his name. We know he's a plucky bulldog, and I love him. You know what? His name's Winston. I named him Winston just now.
Okay.
That's his name. But
I hope
so
he's fine with that.
yeah, he's fine with it. But good old Selectman Smith, he was picking some berries for a little snacky snack out in some bushes when out came the wild man. The dog was terrified. This is normally a really plucky, boisterous dog. But he was scared, and he actually hid between Smith's legs. And this is the way that they describe the Winsted Wildman, the way Smith did. And maybe it's just the style of writing they had back in the day, but it almost sounds like, Smith, how you feel? How you feel about the wild man?
Oh, he's just like, he had these big, strong arms that look like they could scoop you up off your feet and hold you real close to where you couldn't get away.
just protect you real hard.
Lips that were made to whisper sweet nothings into your ear.
The nape of the neck, ripe for kissing. So he said, this is a wild, hairy man in the woods, 6 feet in height. The man's hair was black and hung down long on his shoulders, and that his body was thickly covered in black hair. The man was remarkably agile, and to all appearance was a muscular, brawny man. A man against whom any ordinary man would stand little chance. And Smith, fervently claimed to have seen the wild man. He never recanted and said, I made that up.
He's like, no, I definitely saw him, and I wish I saw him again.
Wherever you are, pour one out for the wild man. So, was it a New England Bigfoot, or was it an escaped inmate from the Litchfield Sanitarium?
He would have been, just the hairiest inmate.
A very hairy man. So, Arthur Beckwith, he was an artist and alleged madman who actually, he did exist, and he did escape from Litchfield Asylum. He was in a carriage accident, and that changed him. After the carriage accident, he went crazy. I'm presuming head trauma.
Didn't wear his carriage seatbelt.
Well,
got into a high-speed collision going 15 miles an hour.
Let that be a lesson to you. But, so, he's in the Litchfield Sanitarium, and the orderlies left him alone for a minute, because he was playing pool and being a good boy, and then he escaped.
They let him play pool?
Yeah, they let him play pool.
They gave him pool sticks?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
Why not? But they left him for a minute, and he escaped. But then he was later recaptured in Cuba, where...
In Cuba?
In Cuba.
God dang.
Where he was just living as a wild person.
Oh, so not even... He jumped countries and then still lived in the woods?
Yeah. He had a thing going for him, man. It was working.
He almost jumped hemispheres,
Yeah, no, he did. He did the damn thing.
I guess you can't say that he got caught by being sloppy. He
Right?
was doing what he was supposed to do, I suppose.
No sloppy here. Then in 1972, so that's a huge gap, right? Like the 1800s and then 1972.
Right, yeah. Typically older than an inmate would live.
Yeah, so we're just gonna assume it's not the same guy.
I say inmate like it's a different species.
Right.
Something. I was thinking of Sasquatch at first, but
You wanted to say primate, and
I guess.
it kind of, yeah. It did the thing that brains do.
Which I don't know. How long does a Sasquatch live? Tell us, Bigfoot heads.
Yeah, please tell us. I'm curious to know.
I know you will, and none of you will agree.
Right. Well, we still want to know.
I'm still salty about trying to research Sasquatch.
Yeah, and I almost didn't do this one, but it's like this very little regional Bigfoot.
This is fine. Yeah, no, as long as we don't talk about, like, capital B Bigfoot.
Right.
Then I don't think anybody will, jump all over our shit about it. But
yeah, no. And at least the 1800s one probably was the guy. It probably was.
Probably was the guy?
Yeah, the escaped inmate.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but then, so this is definitely not the guy. In 1972, a, quote, strange man-like creature was seen by the Crystal Lake Reservoir. We were there, too.
Is there a camp by Crystal Lake?
I don't think so. God, I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either.
That's bad juju.
Actually, where is the Jason movie set? What state is
it
that
set
in?
I don't know. Google that.
We're going to take a quick sojourn into Google.
I'll vamp for you. This is my vamping song.
I cut out the time where I'm doing this normally. New Jersey, so actually it is up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Shit.
Yeah. Like right there, like it's like an hour away.
Well, I think that's where they shot it.
Oh. Well,
No, yeah, Camp Crystal Lake in Cunningham County, New Jersey.
Oh, wow. Back in 1972, Crystal Lake Reservoir, they said that this creature was, quote, about 8 feet tall and covered with hair. Folks said it was probably a bear, but they claimed it weren't no bear.
Quote, it weren't no bear.
Then, in 1974, so 2 years later, so, we wait 80 years, and then 2, and then 2.
Okay, so 4 years.
Yeah. So then in 1974, these two couples were parked, probably necking, by the Rug Brook Reservoir, and they claimed to see a 6-foot, 300-pound creature covered in dark hair. They immediately left. They were just like, nope, and left. They did not pass go. They did not collect $200.
You're telling me that the guy who was definitely wearing like his like Leatherman's jacket,
right,
wasn't. Oh, it was nothing, baby. Don't worry about like every movie you've ever seen involving this scenario.
What else would he say, Clay? I need you to finish this.
I don't know. I don't know what they say after that, because then he tries to kiss her and she's like, no, seriously, we should leave. And he's like, oh. And then they get murdered.
Clay, I'm scared.
Right, and then they get murdered.
Right. But they don't. They just left. They did call the police. The police searched the area, could not find anything. That is the last known sighting of the Winsted Wildman.
Okay. I mean, 6 foot is not, like, unbelievably tall. It's pretty tall.
It is.
But it's not, like, inhumanly tall.
Sure.
Right? It ain't like old Bigfoot. I don't know what his actual height was.
Right.
But probably closer to 7, I would think.
I would think so. I mean, the one person said closer to 8 feet, but we all know, like, eyeball and stuff, it's very hard to say.
It's difficult. I mean, that's why if you've ever walked out of a gas station, you've seen those markers on the side of the door that clearly have heights labeled out so that the camera can see as the person's walking out exactly how tall they are.
Yeah, that
because it is
sense.
difficult.
Right, sure.
Because angles play a lot, distance is difficult for at least some people.
And now we're going to talk about the old Leatherman.
Okay.
Going into this, do you know anything about the Leatherman?
No, I saw him on the postcard and I was like, I don't know anything about this man, but that's the creepiest friggin'... It should be called the Old Leatherman.
So I thought the same thing, that the Leatherman is super duper creepy and, oh my god, that's going to give me nightmares. Not the case at all.
Okay.
Not the case at all. It's like almost...
Well, before you ruin it for me.
Okay, do you want to guess?
Yeah, I want to tell you what my mind made up when I saw this sort of like shitty old picture of some dude and he was called the Old Leatherman.
Right.
I'm thinking a guy who maybe got, like, burnt or something.
Mm-hmm.
So his skin had, like, the leathery appearance.
Yeah.
Or that he, like, harvested leather, but from humans.
Dope.
Yeah, so he just walked around with a bag full of human skins. And he was known as the Old Leatherman, and it was something like, if he knocks on your door or tries to get in your car, like, don't let him, kind of thing.
Interesting.
That's where my mind went when I hear Old Leatherman.
I like that, and I was thinking something similar, like a burn victim, like just an old man that looked like leather. Maybe he got made fun of, and now he kills people. But that's not the case at all. The Old Leatherman is actually one of the sweetest, most wholesome things, but it's also a little, I guess it's a little creepy. It's a true story, and it's, now in the realm of urban legend. So from 1857 to 1889, a man clad entirely in leather was seen walking across Connecticut up to New York and back. He would walk approximately 365 miles.
Holy shit.
Clockwise. This route took him about 34 days to complete.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. He was just a little man, walked around. But the townspeople loved him. He was known to take shelter in caves, such as Leatherman's Cave in Watertown, excuse me.
I was about to ask why he was called Old Leatherman then.
Well, we're getting there. While on his journey, he'd stay in caves and outside. There's up to 100 in caves that we know of that he stayed in. A lot of them are accessible to the public, and you can go and see them, which is really cool. He stocked up on his provisions. He was said to speak French, and he could speak a little bit of English, but he would kind of just like grunt if you talked to him in English.
You're like, hey man, how's it going? Ugh.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that he didn't understand how to speak it, he just hated the English language.
Right, exactly.
He's like, this is not French.
Exactly. So they call him the Leatherman because he wore leather everything.
That
Leather
sounds
hat.
awful.
His outfit would have weighed around 60 pounds.
Yeah, and
of just
would have
leather.
contained all of his sweat.
All of it. All of it.
Leather pants,
leather boots, leather jacket, leather shirt, leather hat, leather everything.
Okay, well, we're talking about, like, worked leather, but it could have been, like, hide leather, which wouldn't have been as bad.
Maybe.
Would have chafed.
Yeah, it would have chafed.
But wouldn't have, like, just
We don't know if he
contained
wore
sweat.
clothes under it or what, but he was decked out in leather. And that's why they called him Old Leatherman. And it was even said that he was so precise with his route that you could just about tell time, like what day it was, by if he saw the Leatherman or not.
Oh. Did they ever say, like, did he trade anything?
So he did a little bit, and he had money. He never begged. He was not a beggar, but he had a few like merchants that he kind of like however many weeks he would go by and he would buy food, provisions. People would give him stuff. People would bake him pies. There were even a few little people who were like, I want to know more about this guy. Like, why do you do this?
You see this literal human cryptid.
Exactly. And so they'd be like, hey, I'll give you this pie if you tell me about yourself. And he never would.
Damn,
never would talk about himself. Nope.
Don't need no pie.
No pie. He would buy pies, but he would not. And even children really loved him. And he was said to kind of have a playful streak. It's said that children would leave out like old coins for him, and he would take them, but then he would leave like new coins for the kids to find. So we don't really know what he did, but he had money.
Damn. So nobody even knows why he went up to New York and back all the time.
And, we want to be like, oh, he's just kind of a vagrant. He doesn't want to deal with people, but he kept that same route.
Right, yeah, no, he was
people
obviously
who knew him and were happy to see him.
That's why I think, like, he had to have been, like, a traveling merchant. Like, he traded some sort of good to and fro, but apparently there's no mention of this man carting supplies.
No, he's just walking around.
That's weird.
This was also during a time where Connecticut had a tramp law, which basically permitted the arresting and jailing of hobos. Their word, not mine. But in all this time...
Yeah, we still have that today.
Yeah, I guess we do. You're right. But
it's illegal to be homeless. Figure that one out.
Figure it out. Figure it out, people. But many ordinances that saw him regularly were like, okay, except for him. except for
Oh,
the
they made an
Leatherman.
exception for the
Yeah,
Leatherman.
yeah, like he's fine. He doesn't cause any trouble. He pays for stuff, whatever. But he was arrested once in his entire life in 1888, but it's because somebody was worried about his health. So they called the police and they arrested him. He was hospitalized, but he was deemed, quote, sane except for an emotional affliction. Which, same.
So, like, he was pissed off that he had been arrested for no reason, probably?
The way I read it, and maybe he was pissed off, but the way I read it was almost more like he was sad, just like a melancholy. But in 1889, old Leatherman died.
Damn.
Allegedly from mouth cancer from all the chewing tobacco.
Yeah, well, I thought it will do it.
Yeah, they found him in the Sawmills Woods Cave, and he was buried, but we still, to this day, don't know who he was. Now, some people believe he was a man named Jules Bourglet of Lyons, France. The legend is that Bourglet lost all his money in the leather business, and thus failed to marry the love of his life. I heard one story where the woman he loved, her family was in the leather business, and her father told him, I'll only let you marry my daughter if you can prove you're a hard worker. So he works for him, and he works really, really hard, but he makes some kind of accident that ruins all the leather, and the family goes bankrupt.
He used the wrong piss.
He used the wrong piss.
If you don't know how leather is made, that's where the old term, so poor you don't have a pot to piss in,
Yeah.
is because piss was used in the manufacturing process of like tanning hides and stuff. So what people would do is they would piss in these pots and then sell their piss to tanners.
Hey, there's still a market for that. It's called OnlyFans. So he's heartbroken. He doesn't get to marry her. The legend is he chose to walk the world draped in the very leather that ruined him as penance for his failure. Although many people believe this, and they've even noted Leatherman on the grave of Jules Bourglet, Dan DeLuca, who's the author of The Old Leatherman, Historical Accounts of a Connecticut and New England Legend, said in an interview with Damned Connecticut, quote, "He never begged for food. He was not Jules Bourglet. I also believe, like Leatherman researcher Allison Albee, who said in 1937, when asked who was the Leatherman, occasionally legend and reality unite in the form of some remarkable soul who, through peculiarity or chance, assumes a role resembling a mythical creature that we've read about in childhood fairy tales. The old Leatherman was one of these." In 2011, his body was exhumed to try and find out who he was, just solve the mystery for once and for all. But all that remained were a few of the coffin nails. So,
no body?
No body. But they don't believe
he's back on his route.
He's back on his route. See, that's the first thing I thought too, honestly. But because of where he was buried, because for a long time he didn't have like a grave. It was just kind of like he's buried here, and there's like a little landmark. So I mean, people were walking over. I mean, who knows? All this time,
yeah,
we don't really know.
Also, I like what they were saying in that interview that through peculiarity. Nope. Through peculiarity.
You did it!
That through peculiarity or just chance that you can just become somebody like this. And that's so funny because this dude probably was just a dude.
Yeah.
But he just did shit so weird that people were like, it's gotta be something else, right? Like,
yeah.
This man he's been cursed by God, or his soul has been damned for these past sins.
Yeah.
Something of this effect. And it's just, actually, he was just a weird dude.
Yeah, he was just a weird guy. But, so we couldn't do any DNA to prove who he was. We still don't know his true identity. But his burial plot, what was left of it, any of the dust and dirt and nails and everything, were dug up and relocated to another location within the Sparta Cemetery, which is dope. And he has a new headstone that just simply reads, "The Leatherman."
That's pretty sick. They should have made it doesn't make sense, and it would be a terrible headstone. They should have made it out of leather.
Play. Listen to what you just said.
Hey, I said that it doesn't make sense and it would be like the shittiest headstone, but they should have did it. And they should have to go out there and keep it up. They should have to reapply and reupholster the leather constantly.
For our boy, the Leatherman.
All for our boy.
I love Leatherman.
Yeah, Leatherman's cool.
Yeah, he's really cool. I was excited because I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be so spooky," but it's not.
And then it wasn't spooky.
It wasn't spooky at all.
He's more of like not necessarily a folk hero, but
he's an urban legend. Yeah, he's a human cryptid, like you said.
He was real.
He was.
And he was weird.
And he was weird. The best people.
And sometimes that's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Well, that goes to show you, if you want to be immortalized in legend, just go out and be the weirdest motherfucker anybody has ever seen.
We believe in you.
We believe that you can do it.
I believe that you can do it. I think that's going to be it for this episode. Apologies, I don't have more. I obviously feel like shit. So I'm going to go pass out, and I'll be back with more Connecticut cryptids, and we'll see.
Oh, you're going to do more Connecticut cryptids?
Yeah, this is just the one pad.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is like, it just when I think of stuff, I want more Connecticut. I'm not ready to be back.
Well, the next one won't be Connecticut based because I'm doing it.
Right.
So, I guess we can look forward to your next episode having more Connecticut cryptids.
Next time, we're going to talk about cursed pirate treasure.
Hey. I like cursed pirate treasure.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Lots of words I got to look up how to pronounce.
Like One-Eyed Willie's treasure from the Goonies?
One-Eyed Willie is like a wiener.
Wait, he was
One-Eyed that's a one-eyed monster. Just kidding.
It's a pirate from Goonies.
It was One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah, One-Eyed Willie. William B. Portobello. Have you ever seen the Goonies?
Yeah, I only recently saw the Goonies.
Okay, all right.
This year or the last year.
I was going to say, I know at one point you hadn't seen the Goonies.
Yeah, there's a lot
But I suppose
of
at one point all of us hadn't seen the Goonies.
Oh, there's a lot. I still haven't seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I know that's right up my alley and that I would fucking love it.
I haven't seen it either.
I know it would be so good, and I know when I watch it, I'm going to be like, I'm a fool for not watching it sooner. But I have, as our podcast name implies, an obsessive personality, like an addictive personality. So, like, if I like something, it becomes my entire personality.
Well, I hope that the Rocky Horror Picture Show doesn't become your entire personality, because we already have so much Labyrinth merch around the house.
Yeah. Our bathroom just says Bog of Eternal Stench.
Right, we got a little wooden plaque that we got that says Bog of Eternal Stench.
It's pretty great.
I got Caitlin a jar of rocks that says Ludo's Friends.
Yes. I have a window thing with Jareth and Sarah and all of that.
I made Caitlin some custom magic cards.
You did.
Of the Labyrinth characters.
So good.
Nope, there's Panzer.
Coming in to say hi.
All right, well, do you have anything to tell our listeners?
I love you. I'm proud of you. Don't come to the South. Oh, I forgot to mention that the Leatherman was probably Catholic. because he didn't eat meat on Fridays.
Oh, okay, that was observed.
Yeah, like, people, like, markedly noticed that he didn't bite.
You know what? He was so weird, I bet it wasn't even a Catholic thing. He was just like, I don't eat meat on Fridays.
Maybe.
That's what I do. I'm the old Leatherman.
Yeah.
I do shit like that.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Well, keep it weird, you friggin' freaks.
Keep it weird, you friggin' turds.
Become a cryptid so that we can talk about you on the podcast.
Please do. We love you. Oh, and you can email us. Clay, where can they email us to request a topic?
No, this is the end of the episode.
Okay.
We're done with it. We're not shilling here at the end of our fairly short episode as I turn to look at the recording time. We're done.
Okay.